The topic I'm going to speak about is how an internal user forum within Polarion can be set up, and how we have done that at Trafikförvaltningen. And I'm, as Pastor said, Henrik Morast. I work for Intel, and since a couple of years I have an assignment at Trafikförvaltningen in Stockholm. Trafikförvaltningen is part of region Stockholm and deals with the public transportation in the city. So Trafikförvaltningen is the name of the organization, but there are 3 brands under that is managed by that organization. We have SL, most known probably, Storstockholms Lokaltrafik. That's dealing with trams and subway and commuter trains, bus traffic in the region. And then we also have Storstockholms Lokaltrafik, which runs boats in our Capellan. And we have a 3rd brand that's called Färdtjänsten. So, and as you can imagine, this is a quite complex organization and complex business. We have a lot of different things here. We have vehicles, trains. We have a lot of infrastructure. And of course, big services like running the traffic, because Trafikförvaltningen isn't running the traffic themselves. It's on contract. So a lot of different things, different technologies, different domains, and a lot of things that needs to be bought, and we have requirements to do that. So it's quite an interesting business to work in when you're dealing with requirements. If we have a look at Polarion, Trafikförvaltningen, as I said, it's quite a diverse portfolio of projects that use Polarion, or at least could use Polarion. And the reason Polarion was brought into the organization was for requirements engineering, or maybe I should have written requirements management. That's more accurate. But it's also used for some change management and risk management. But the main thing is, or the reason for it to be there is the requirements side. So. And of course, there's the challenges here. And one of the challenges is that there are different domains, as I was speaking about. And those domains have different traditions and to some extent different needs. And these different traditions make it quite a challenge. Some of these domains do not have a very long tradition of dealing with requirements. And the things that I may find self-evident is far from self-evident. You do things in different ways, and you can do things in different ways, but it's more and more going towards controlling things by stating requirements. But that makes it a little bit difficult to set up templates and things like that for a standard project, because there's really no such things as a standard project. They're all different, and very, very much different also, you could say. We are mostly used it for projects, but we're heading into a situation where we want to manage reusable requirements, generic requirements that the different projects start from. And it's not only system requirements, but also service requirement and something we call implementation requirements. Some people would probably call it transition requirements or project requirements or something like that. But we have different kinds of requirements that we want to manage in Polarion. If you have a quick look at how big our number of users we have. So these are figures from last month, April this year. We have 470 registered users, and so you may think we have a real large Polarion, quite large at least, but that figure is not as interesting, and that it's more interesting to see how the usage pattern is. And we have 130 active users in April, and but some of them are for a very short time, less than an hour. So if we look at having people who have been logged in for more than 10 hours during the month are only 25, and then we have about 10% that's quite intense users of Polarion with over 50 hours of usage time for the month. We can see the graph here, which is based on license statistics, how the usage pattern looks like. So we have a lot of person that's only in Polarion for a very short time, and a few persons that uses Polarion a lot. Could be some interesting background maybe. So to today's topic then, why a Polarion online forum? Yes, like all forums, a forum is a place to ask questions, discuss issues and ideas, and maybe we could also use it for request improvements. And in the long run, if we ask questions and discuss things in a forum, that's a way to share knowledge. And we could say that we build a common competence and document it as well. And this is not any forum, but it's a forum specifically for use and application of Polarion. And if we have such a forum, of course, we would like it in the weather center of things, just like an ancient room. And from this aspect, in the center of things is within Polarion, because if we have a forum that deals with the questions and discussions regarding Polarion, the best place to have that forum would be inside Polarion. Then it would be easy when you're inside Polarion to go to a forum, state your question, instead of going to a system outside of Polarion to find this forum. The idea is it would be more, it would be easier and more used if it's directly in the tools. So that's the idea in a way. So we would like the forum to be in the very center of action. And the primary target group for this, the idea has been to address project admins and super users. In the projects, these are the same persons that have the roles as requirement managers. And the typical questions or topics that it's intended for is to ask questions regarding process, and that's maybe not so tool intense, or could be process questions regarding requirements. That is not really a Polarion question, but how we should do things within the organization. But also more tool-specific questions like configuration, how to do things, or if there are several ways to do things, what's the best practice, what's the recommended way to do it within trafikförvaltning. We can also use it for requesting help, and of course for suggestions as well. Suggest solutions or that we should specify some best practice for something. But even if the primary target group is this project admin, super user, requirement management, we do not want to exclude regular users, so we want to keep it open and that anyone could ask any type of question that has to do with Polarion and application of Polarion. So we have a primary target group, but it's not limited to that one. And as I said in the previous question, if we do this and the discussions are documented, so you can go back and see issues or topics that have been discussed before. We build our common competence and we document it, so you can go back to the forum and have a look at the old threads and learn things that has been asked before. And of course, that's potentially lessens the burden of super admins or global admins to answer questions if there already are questions in the forum, so that you can find easily. We can also see this as one way of building a kind of Polarion community within the organization, and we see this as a complement to our Polarion network, which is a network that we have a monthly network meetings up to 2 hours each month that we discuss, have a topic and maybe some project tells how they are working, or we have some other topic connected to Polarion that someone's presenting and we can discuss. So, and together, this forum and the Polarion network could be things that build this community within the organization about Polarion. So to make us better at using the tool and in an efficient manner. So that's the idea behind the forum. And so the next question is, how do we achieve this in Polarion? So the question is, what possibilities does Polarion provide us to create such a forum? Well, of course, we have the standard concept of Polarion live report pages, which can be seen as web pages within the tool. And of course, this is the basis for you could build something out of that. But I imagine it would be quite a lot of work to achieve a forum functionality just within the live page, not using anything else. So, but luckily we have the work item comments features of Polarion. You know that for all work items you can have comments there where people can contribute to the work items, place questions and point out things. And when you think about it, it's quite convenient suitable to use for a forum thread, because it's a tree structure where you can comment things and you can reply on a comment, and you can comment and place another comment there, and you can reply on that one. So you can create more than one person together. They create a tree structure of comments to that very much is like a thread for online discussion, like in a online forums. So that's the main idea. We use these comments for a thread, and then we can use this in the live report page, as we will see later on here. So what do we need then? Yes, we need, of course, some kind of work item type. I'm choosing to call that a topic. And so a topic is a work item intended to represent a single thread in the forum, a single discussion. And it's almost straight out of the box. We have a single custom field. I will get back to that later. We call it last action by. And we have a minimalistic workflow, only open and close. We start at open, and then we have the possibility to close topic, and then we can reopen it if we feel the need to do that. So, and it's more or less just marking something that this topic has the answer has been provided to the initial question. So we can mark it as closed just to see that this is finished. So in some aspects. And of course, we would like to have this look good and simple and easy. So we have a clean and stripped down work item form. So it's easy to have a look in the thread. So if we have a look at this form configuration, straightforward, very little things here. Just two things I want to point out. We have this custom field last action by that is managed by that's scripted, and it's managed by an extension to Polarion, a standard extension that's called work item save. Very nice to have extension, and also the last action by is not really necessary for the forum functionality, but it's nice to have. That we will see later on here. The other thing is that we have email functionality here, also nice to have, built from another extension called Velocity Form that make us provide the possibility to make Velocity to create things in the form configurations. And this last action by, that custom field, it's a very simple script. I'm not going to go into it. It's almost a one-liner, or you could write it as a one-liner. Just in the custom field, we save the name of the user that made the last save. So that's something we want to reuse. And the email work item, also very simple, straightforward. It's just a couple of buttons that we use to easily be able for the users to email the author, the assignee, or someone else regarding the topic in the forums. So let's have a look at how it looks. And so I remind you that each topic work item represents a thread in the forum. And so when you create this thread in the first place, you write title just like you would for any work item, and then you write your question or in the description. So, and from that on, all the answers to this thread, or the thread is built by the comments functionality. So the original initiator writes a title and the description, and then all answers to this is handled in the comments. And of course, we want to be able to add hyperlinks or attachment. It would be nice to have, if there's some topic that you're really interested in, you can use the watches functionality to get emails when there are any changes. So, so quite straightforward and quite stripped down. So this is all there is to the forum, or to the topics work item. The last action by just who made the last save. So that's our custom field, and then we have these email buttons that I spoke about. Both these are by the extensions. So by this we have a possibility to treat a single thread in a work item, quite straightforward. And then we still, of course, need some kind of homepage, the forum homepage, which can be seen as a portal to individual topics that present relevant information that you can dig into these topics, that you find the topics you're interested in, and from there go to the work items representing those topics and dig into the comments tree. And so this forum homepage, it has some few things on it. We have a short, quick button for creating new topics. Nothing strange, just a generic button widget. When you click on it, you get a new topic work item that you can fill in title and description and save it, so you can post a new topic to the forum. And then we have the main thing here is the table of topics, just a list of all the topics that exist in the forum. And it's created by the standard table widget, nothing strange about it, quite straightforward. And then the third thing is that we provide some means to filter the table of topics. And we do that by using the Polarion page parameters functionality. So we have the page parameters widget that provide a user a possibility to put in how to filter conditions for filtering the table of topics. So here is what it looks like, the table of topics. We have a number of columns. First, we have the ID. And of course, if I click on one of the IDs, I will open up that work item and can examine the discussion that's been handled in the comments tree. We present the title of the topic, the author, last action by, and this is the reason why we have this. When I look at this table, it's very interesting for me to see if I'm the one that made the last action. I see that I in some way dealt with this question, but if there's someone else to have the last action, it's maybe a question that I should dig into. So it's quite nice to see if there's someone else that made this last action, then there's something that I could respond to. We have the updated when it was last updated. It can also be used for that, and the table is sorted on this one, so the last updated topic is in the very top. And then, of course, we can use the standard Polarion functionality for assigning responsibility to a topic. So we can present that one. And then we have the simple open closed status workflow here to see open and closed topics. So, and the page parameters that we use for filtering this table. In this example, in this demonstrator, I limited to 3 parameters. I have a possibility to filter an SNG status, and then a text filter, so I can find some word and filter on that one. So those is defined by the standard page parameters functionality. And then by using the page parameters widget, we provide users the possibility to filter on the table of topics. So you can select, for example, the open topics, or if I want to filter on the topics that I'm assigned to. But I can also, maybe the most interesting thing is that I can provide a word here or a text that's filtered on. And then in the table widget, we use a query, and we have some, you see in Velocity query here that we can use these page parameters to state the query that actually filters the tables. We can have a look at it later in Polarion also. So, and that's about it. So it's quite straightforward and nothing really fancy. We used the standard functionality to build a forum, had a couple of extensions that not necessary for a forum functionality, but it's nice to have. And as I said, we want to keep it open for all our users. So to keep it an open forum, we have some forum permissions here. And basically, we grant the global rule user the relevant permissions in the project to use this comment and being able to create work items, topic work items to state their questions. And then we have some, in addition, for some actions, we grant permission to author to be able to update on what they have made earlier. So that's about it. And as a little wrap up here, let's have a look into Polarion. And when we're inside there, I can show you a little, and then we can open up for address any questions you may have. So let's open Polarion here. And this is not our live forum, it's a demonstrator. So I have just 4 small topics in here. We have this new topic button, we have the table of topics, and then we have the page parameter widget here that I can use for example, selecting on status here. I only want to see the open topics. When I press apply here, you can see the closed topic disappears. And the idea here is if I don't put anything in there, it doesn't filter on it at all. So I can also filter as a need, and of course I could make additional page parameter to filter an author or something else. And I can also filter on text like this. Polarion, we have 2 topics that's mentioned in Polarion, and if we, let's say, we filter on doors instead, we don't have anything here because it's a forum of Polarion. So that's quite handy to find something that you're interested in. And if I press a new topic, I just get to the standard how to creating a new work item. So I can state a new question here. Can I use the forum or can I, let's say, create a forum for my project? So, for example, that I not only want to have this forum functionality for the complete installation. I may want a forum for my project. Then I just write something here. So, and then I create this, and then of course someone else then can come in and say, yes, of course you can. Yes, yes you can. So that's and we can start building the comments thread here for the forum threads. So that's about it. So.